How's it going, doggy people? I hope you all are doing well. I've gotten a couple of recommendations recently of some people to watch. One called The Dog Messiah, I believe is the name of the person they wanted me to watch, as well as Jeff Gellman. So we'll go over Jeff Gellman after this video. Hopefully it'll be quick. I know I always say that and it's never really quick. So hopefully I can actually make it a quick video for you. So I just clicked randomly, I looked up Dog Messiah. Clicked randomly. This is a reactive German Shepherd dog puppy with high stranger aversion, clears the dog park, Gator. So I'm assuming this dog's name is Gator. Seems like a young, it's a puppy, so it's a young German Shepherd. So before we get started, I just want to put this disclaimer out there that, of course, as always, I'm giving my professional point of view, my personal owner point of view, as well as just common sense. It's not necessarily that, I will say this now, that certain tools that people use and certain methods that people use, they are effective to some degree. They work to some degree. I'm not here to argue that point. My main argument and what I like to point out is it necessary? Which, in my opinion, is no, it's not necessary. Even for the most wild doggies ever. They don't need special collars, especially metal prong collars, electric collars, yank and crank and pop and jerk and all that nonsense. So I'm giving my point of view, and also the main thing I always like to tell people is, okay, you could put all this anecdotal, nonsense and whatnot in the comments and all these other, opinions, but if you were in this dog's exact position, if you had a collar around your neck and somebody cranking and yanking on it, like I'm sure this gentleman's going to do with this dog here, I just saw like 2 seconds of it, you wouldn't like it. So why do we do it to the dog? It's not necessary. The dog does not need, that's not how you talk to a dog. So there's that. Anyway, so we've got that either way. This is nothing personal. Don't go out to this guy's channel. Don't go to the Messiah and tell him nasty things or anything like that. Okay, this is my personal opinion, just from one trainer to supposedly another trainer. So let's get started. Ow, 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 ow.
She's nipping at me back.
Okay, so she nipped at him, it looked like, because of that pop. So it could have been a redirection. Ouch. Unnecessary. Ouch. This dog is on a prong collar, very tight. He has to pull up to get the dog to sit. That already, lost a lot of points for me. Like, not even 5 seconds in, this dog's already gotten at least 2 corrections.
Hers is being dominant.
Very nervous. Okay, so he says she's being dominant. Alright, I already know this guy's just an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And like, I say these words, I'm not here to change the minds of trainers. I'm here to educate owners. Okay, I've learned my lesson I'm not going to try to convince people who are dedicated to misunderstanding me. So I'm not going after, I use this trainer as an example because, I use not just this trainer, many other trainers, any other situation, even non-trainers. I use them as examples of what not to do and how I might do it differently. And how, speaking up for the dog, okay? I'm trying to give the dog a voice. I happen to see the nails are a little bit long. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world, just the nails are a little bit sharp. They could maybe be trimmed or use a Dremel, get the dog used to a Dremel. Just kind of something to I happen to notice that. I'm not saying that this dog is being abused by any means by the owner for having long nails. But this dog already looks very nervous. This is not necessary. If you have to do that many corrections that harsh in that little amount of time, this dog shouldn't be here in this environment. The dog is not ready. So I'm not talking to trainers out there. I'm not trying to convince any trainers. I'm trying to help educate the public so they can make their own decision when and if they choose to work with trainers, or if they want to listen to all this free advice that's given out there. You can make your own educated decision on what you want to do with your dog, what you want other people to do with your dog, because you always have a right to tell the person, no, I want you to stop this instant. You're not going to use this on my dog. You're not going to blah, 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 blah. And whatever that person happens to say, whatever stories they give you, or whatever anecdotal advice, or whatever they say, you can still choose to not take their advice and not allow them to work with your dog. Just like me, you can never ask me to work with your dog. I will never work with anyone's dog that they're not comfortable with. I mean, of course, I don't use any of these things, but if people, for whatever reason, just don't want me to work with their dog because I use positive reinforcement, then I respect that.
Watch, I'll try to catch it on film. Good.
Catch what on film? Pop, pop, lip lick.
Good.
Touch. Now, he's doing this. The dog isn't even really focused on him. Like, it's only doing this because it's held back by a metal prong collar. It's so focused on the other dogs over here and very excited. You're not ready to work here. I mean, I'm not the biggest person where I don't require a lot of eye contact, but I can tell when a dog is paying attention to me. I don't require constant eye contact, but I would at least be able to get the ear of the dog to look at me, and then they can look back at whatever they're looking at. But this is like total zeroing in. This dog is already over threshold, I say, or you're getting close to that line of threshold.
Look, because she's watching.
Ow, 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 ow. So this, God, what a beautiful dog. They're just so cute. All this, in my opinion, is being caused by the pain and the choking and the tight collar. Ow, 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 dude, she's yelping. Yeah, big tough guy. Great trainer. Ow, 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 ow. So that's frustration. You're not a messiah of anything, dude. And I know this is more like my personal thing coming out, okay? I know I don't sound so professional, but I'm giving this dog a voice. She's barking. He made this happen because he's working with her too quickly. Pop, pop. He's using a prong collar.
Okay.
Ouch. Ouch.
Good. You okay with me bringing her in here? Okay. And what is your dog's name again, Max?
So I would already be worried, when I'm with my dog, my Shiba or whatever, and I come over and see anybody doing this with a prong collar on their dog, I don't trust their dog. Not because of the dog, but because of the way they've been trained. He doesn't even ask the dog to sit. He just relies all on the hand and the force and the movement of his hand and he's just manhandling the dog. He relies on manhandling the dog. Doesn't give her a cue, doesn't give her the opportunity to sit, any of that. He's just so focused on making his video or getting in to correct bad behavior. This is one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and I think Zach George said it recently in or maybe it was Bree, his wife Bree. They said it recently in a live stream, which I thought was brilliant, that the act of correcting an animal, and I may be misquoting it, but the act of correcting the dog is reinforcing to the person, not the dog, because the person gets reinforced for gaining control of the animal in that moment. If a dog jumps and you push him down, the dog stops jumping. That was reinforcing the owner, or the person involved is going to continue to do that because it got them the results they wanted, and it got them really quickly. A lot of people, some trainers, I think even, I swear they're a bit of a masochist, or people just, they enjoy the power of being able to correct an animal that's not going to fight back. You try this with the wrong dog, and that dog will redirect and bite and go after you if you use a prong collar on them. You corner a dog enough, and you scare them enough, and they're going to turn on you. And they will always win. But because we're humans, and we have this ego, we like to be able to take control of an animal that's not going to fight back.
See? Maxie and Maggie, okay, good. Maggie's already in there.
Ow! Nope. So I'm against what he's doing here. He doesn't need to be correcting her. If she's already here and she's barking, or she's chuffing or whatever she's doing, she's already over threshold. I mean, that was great in the beginning there. They could have just sat there and rewarded, but if she's doing that, we're not going in because she's not ready. And it doesn't mean that she needs to be corrected. I would just walk her along the fence. I would move her back a few steps, reward, sit right here in this little covered area. Let her look at the other dog, Max or whatever his name is, reward, walk around again, and we don't get closer until I feel she's ready. And if we get closer and she barks again, we'll just back up.
She just puffs and puffs. Good.
Heal. She's not going to heal, dude. She doesn't know heal. You don't know this dog anyway. Like, you only had her a week or so. She's not going to heal with you inside of this new environment with this dog here, which is why I don't like dog parks. I like this little system, of course. They have the two doors, but it's dangerous because a lot of dogs will come to this area where it's a trap point. It's a corner, and in here it's a tube, and dogs can get cornered and they're on leash and it can start a fight. This is why I don't like dog parks. I don't like the design of many dog parks. I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, she's very loyal.
Did she say she's very worried about you? And he says she's very loyal? I don't know if that's what they said. If that is what they said, he's just an idiot. She doesn't care about you. And if he did not say that, then okay, that's fine.
Home with you though. She's very loyal.
Oh, yeah, he did say she's loyal. She doesn't care about you, dude. She didn't follow you because she's loyal. She followed you because you're dragging her around.
Heal.
No, she's not going to heal here in this environment. It's not even fair to ask her of that. If I take a dog to a new area, I want to allow them at least 10 minutes to sniff. He should let her go off leash, go sniff, be a free dog, and then you can ask her to do things, but not above what her abilities.
Good heel.
Just yanking on her. Ouch.
We're not going to let her play yet. We're going to start off by training.
Well, that's just a stupid plan, I think. Control. It's over control. I mean, she's doing awesome. No rewards other than her reward is avoidance of the correction. And he's going to say the good and the whatnot. And she doesn't care about your words. She's scratching. Doesn't even let her scratch. So he corrects her. This is why I don't go out. I don't even bother talking to trainers like this. Because you're going to have 1,001 excuses. If you're an owner and this is how your trainer works with your dog and you're okay with it, then by all means, stay with that trainer. But if you don't like it, if you ever see videos like this and the trainer is doing this with your dog, you have the right to tell them, hey, you're not working with my dog again. I want a refund. Whatever you got to do, get your dog out of there. Talk to them and just say, hey, I don't like what you're doing and we're not going to work together. You have the right to stand up for your dog and advocate for your dog's well-being. This dog can't even scratch, which is probably irritated from the metal prong collar digging into its throat all the time. It can't even scratch that without being corrected.
Good.
Scratch, yank, and the dog yelps a little bit.
She's been here before. No gumbo on the ground. Good heel.
Ouch, ouch,
Good.
ouch.
Smart. Good sit. Good. Stay. And I'm gonna...
So he said if she's been here before. How many times has she been here before? How long has she worked here? I mean, she's doing terrific, but it's because he's just like, he's crowbarring the dog everywhere. I mean, she is a smart dog, but it isn't impressive. You know what's impressive? You could do all this without even having tension on the leash, having her on a harness, or not even touching her at all. That's impressive to me.
Switch between giving her verbal cues, hand signals.
Okay, well, that can be really confusing to the dog unless they know both. I think he's only had this dog a week. Does she know both? Does she know both verbal and hand signal? Because if you mix it up too much, especially in a new environment, I know he says she's been here before, but she's still acting like it's very new. Or it's a new environment because the other dog is here. Even if she's been here before, each new dog changes the environment. People here can change the environment. It could rain, that changes the environment. You could have a bag blowing, that changes the environment. So if she doesn't understand both, you can confuse the dog that much more, especially in this new environment. I mean, I love using verbal and hand signals. You know, the dogs I teach and my own Shiba, he knows both hand signals. You know, like I joke with people, hey, he knows sign language. And he does, you know, and dogs are very smart. They can pick that up. But if I'm in a new environment, I only focus on one or the other. We can slowly work on both, but I don't want to confuse the dog and overdo their little brain. You know, they can only learn so much, and I want to make it easy on them. This seems like a young, according to this, a puppy, a German Shepherd dog. He says she's reactive. She's not too bad from what I've seen, but, I mean, this is also just, she's being held back by this metal prong collar.
And
good, she looks at him, she gives a couple lip licks, though. Anxiety. He could reward, but he's not.
Habit, okay? So if I were to tell her to stay, I would stick my hand out like this and say, stay. Good.
Stick it out in front of her face. Stay. Okay, I mean, she's staying now.
I'm gonna touch.
I hate this whole, I mean, I don't know, maybe I only hate it because I hate the people. I really dislike the people that always say you gotta touch your dog to let them go. You don't go until I touch you. I can say I'm fine with that. But you can also have a verbal release. For me, the verbal release is okay, or release, or go sniff. But I also add, my release is not praise, so I can tell my dog from a distance, yes, you know, or that would, I guess, be the marker, but I can still say, you know, good boy, good job, good girl, whatever, but that doesn't mean get up. That just means keep doing what you're doing, and then the actual release would be, you know, a specific word. So I guess the touch is okay too. Depending on where he touches, you know, a lot of people will touch the front of the nose or the head or somewhere that is just more aversive to the dog because they don't realize that going for the face is not comfortable, especially when you have the back of your hand going to touch him.
Good. Good. Look at the beautiful boxer. Good.
I'm gonna go sniff.
Good.
So she's doing awesome.
Good, good, good.
Ouch.
Good. Pretty. Smart. Stay. Look at her. Her hackles are raised. She sees that other.
Yeah, so her hackles are raised, then I would increase distance from whatever it is that's causing her hackles to be raised. I mean, God, this poor dog, like, metal prongs digging into her neck. You don't think that's uncomfortable? Like, if you think this doesn't hurt, put it on yourself. I'll put a clip in here of what I did to myself, walking into one of these, and it hurt. It wasn't just to get my attention. Tethered to the door, tethered to me. Okay, you can see it's already, God, my throat is already like red just from having it on, but that could just be me. So, if we're just walking and we don't know how long this thing, oh, Jesus Christ. Holy sh**. Oh my God. Good boy. I did not expect that to hurt quite so much. You don't need this. This is a crutch.
Pretty. Good stay.
I wouldn't put a dog in this position here, even if they were the most well-trained dog ever, because to me, this makes this dog shark bait. And with something like this on here, this is the anchor that keeps them here. It teaches people, the owners, to have a false sense of security that their dog can sit and stay with an off-leash dog over here. But this dog does not look comfortable. I would not work on sit-stay here. If I'm on the other side of the fence and there's no loose dog that's able to get to us, yeah, we can practice that. But I would worry less about the obedience of sit and stay and this and that and heel and all this nonsense. And I would worry more about her comfort level around another animal. I don't care where she is, if she's sitting, if she's laying down, wherever she is on the leash, as long as she's not pulling and barking and going crazy. Those are my two rules. If she does either of those, then we just increase distance. And I would want her to be able to walk and be comfortable and lay down on her own and do all these things on her own in the presence of another dog. Whether it's inside the park or outside of the park, we work our way up to it. And then I can ask her behaviors just to test, is she comfortable enough to focus on me and follow through with an obedient cue. But I'm not going to rely on her being, in a downstay or whatever while this dog runs around her, or 50 guinea pigs runs around her, or she's like in a herd of, raging buffalo and all these other distractions that people think is so impressive and amazing. I don't care. I wouldn't want to be sitting still in the middle of traffic. Do you really expect your dog to be okay? I mean, why do we have such unrealistic expectations for our dogs than we do for, like, our own species?
See? And if she reacts...
So I can't tell if she's, like, shaking or not, or trembling or not. I saw a little bit of...
Well, as long as she doesn't break her stay, I'm going to pick my battle.
Pick your battle. Okay, so I don't know if she was really shaking or not. She could have just been excitement, but he says, as long as she stays, if she gets up, basically she's going to get a correction, is what he's going to do. Which is not even fair, because he's setting her up for failure. I'm telling you, man, correcting animals is reinforcing for people.
Good.
Ouch. Lots of sharp turns, turning around, pop, pop, pop.
Good. Beautiful.
She's looking at him. She's licking him. Whites of the eyes. She's licking him like, hey, trying to be a little bit submissive. Maybe as a calming signal, like, please don't hurt me, don't pop me. I'm trying to be good. And she's being very good.
I'm not going to tell her to STAY that time.
Okay, so why? Are you going to correct her then if she doesn't? Because if you don't tell her the cue, you can't get mad at her. You cannot correct her. Lip lick. So she gets up. I bet he would correct her, which is not even fair to her, because how does she know she's supposed to stay? Versus you just walking away. Unless he gave her a hand signal I didn't see. Lots of lip licks.
Now I finally told her to come in as I dropped the leash. It's really windy out here. I hope my little...
And that can be also another distraction. When the wind is high and it brings in smells, in a different scent cone. Instead of a slow wind where it's kind of all over here, if it's a direct scent cone from, say, this dog over here, it can be hitting, depending on the speed of the wind, it can be a straight line straight to her. It can make noise travel differently. I mean, it can bring a lot of different distractions to a dog with the wind. Leaves can blow. It can get them excited. So you have to be aware of that.
Wind things that I have on my camera help. Good.
So she moved around.
Put up with the...
Ouch. Again, Yelp, 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 or kind of a whimper. God, look at this. She's not ready for this, dude. Ow!
That's too much. What the?
She jumps, whines. Ow!
That's too much.
Ow, ow!
And she's not being hurt. She's just whining because
she's not being hurt. Bull, dude. I'm so tired of this. She's not being hurt. Bull. Let's go back and listen.
That's too much.
Ouch!
And she's not being hurt. She's just whining because she's irritated. That's not good.
First of all, yes, this dog is being hurt. There's metal prongs in her throat and you're yanking on it. You're gonna tell me that doesn't hurt her? Secondly, you say she's irritated. Why is she irritated? You made her irritated. Yes, it could very well be irritating to her, the prong collar. The situation could be irritating her. She's not whining because she's just irritated and excited. You are causing pain to this dog by yanking on her because she broke a stay that she's not ready for. Having this dog come this close to her. This is completely unnecessary and so unfair to the dog. And he just comes up with excuses.
Dominance against me.
A dominance against you. You're a idiot, dude. That is her asserting dominance. Really? Okay, so you're being dominated by, I'm going to say, 6-month-old German Shepherd puppy. Wow, and you need a prong collar to keep this dog under control, keep her from dominating you. Then you're just an idiot. I'm done with nice guy. This is why I don't bother with idiotic, uneducated trainers like this. I say trainer very loosely, with quotation marks. People are paying him to do this? Jesus, this is just absolutely ridiculous. And he says, I'm about to just lose it. Yeah, dog Messiah my ass. She's being dominant against him. No. Dominance, you are being dominant against her. You are being dominant over her. You are correcting her because she got in your space by jumping. You got mad. You didn't like it. You don't want a dog jumping on you. I don't like dogs jumping on me either, but this does not, I don't need to do this. I can walk away. I mean, if anything, you are asserting your dominance on her unnecessarily. Dominance doesn't have to be any act of aggression.
Okay, that's what that is there. She's being dominant.
No, she's not. You are a idiot, dude. She's not being dominant. You are uneducated. You're an idiot, and you're over here feeding into the lies and the myths and the misinformation out there. And then because I'm going to come out here and call it as it is, then everybody's going to say, oh, I'm unprofessional, or oh, blah, 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 or oh, this is why we need them, blah, blah. You need this to work with a 6-month-old German Shepherd puppy? I'm just saying 6 months. You need this? You shouldn't be a dog trainer. You shouldn't be taking money from people. And I assume he has a board and train. He said he's had, other dogs a couple weeks. He's had her a week. People are paying you for this?
Started nipping.
This is why I'm trying to, I do these to help the owners who will be, impressed by the work, but they don't see what goes into it. They don't see the little innuendos. They don't see the little,
Her repeatedly and putting it quick. She's a drama queen. I'm not hurting her.
She's a drama queen. No, you're hurting her, dude. Metal prongs. Need I show you again? I'll put the clip in again. If we're just walking and we don't know how long this thing... Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy sh**. Oh, my God. Good boy. Metal prongs in the throat cause pain. Otherwise, how do they work? Dogs are not drama queens. Okay? I mean, dogs can be... Maybe at times, I can even admit it, that they can be a little exaggerated at times, but this is not one of those times. And I mean like times like a Shiba, okay? Like a Shiba, doesn't want to go for a walk anymore and they lay down, you'd like have to drag them, okay, right? Or the leash is tight, that typical meme that you see. You are calling this dog a drama queen to excuse your behavior, your incompetence, your need to rely on a metal prong collar around a young puppy's neck. You set her up for failure, and then you correct her. And you say she's dominant, she's a drama queen, she's not being hurt, you're just... I can't believe that, people actually pay you for this. And you put this willingly out there in the world. This is impressive. I mean, hey, I put my stuff out there. I don't think my stuff is impressive. I mean, people can talk about me all they want to. They can call out anything I do, every mistake I make. You know, if they happen to catch it before I do. Usually I call out my own mistakes. Ouch.
She's nipping at me back.
She's nipping at you because you're hurting her and she's going into fight or flight.
She nipped at my hand.
It was a very light... She's not being dominant. She's trying to get you to stop hurting her. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. When I was stupid and I listened to stupid trainers even dumber than him, when training my Shiba, the more I corrected him with a prong collar, the more he would redirect on me. The more he would bite back and fight back.
Dominant.
She's not being dominant. Ouch.
Good sit. Good.
He's getting frustrated and he's taking it out on her. And he's using the excuse that she's being dominant. If anything, he's the one being dominant over her. He's controlling her every move and every resource. She can't even scratch without getting corrected. Dominance means having control of resources. If she and another dog went to go eat one treat and she were to bark at the other dog and he moves away, she gets the treat, that's her asserting dominance in that moment. She may not even have to bark at him. She may just be able to stare at him and he moves away. Or vice versa. It's not an overall behavioral trait. I see why this person wanted me to go over this guy. Like at first I was like, I mean it doesn't look too bad, but no, you're absolutely right. Ouch, 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 ouch. That is a yelp because she's in pain. No one's going to be able to convince me otherwise. She's doing this because of pain. She's yelping because of pain. And she's also being more reactive because she's getting frustrated because he's hurting her. He's popping her on this leash. He's constantly yanking her around. Ouch. He's causing her to go into fight or flight. He's causing this issue. Oh, that yelping, this is abusive. And he's probably proud of this. Like people, again, this is why I'm not talking to the trainer. I don't care what he has to say. I don't care what excuses he has. This is his most recent video. This poor thing feels trapped. He has made this dog yelp and whine so much more than any other person that I've actually, reviewed so far.
Good.
She doesn't care about you. Knee into her face, walk into her, blah, 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 blah. This dog isn't learning anything. If I were to be teaching this, we wouldn't even be here. We would be on the other side of the fence. We'd be at a distance to where she's just sitting there and happily be able to look at the dog and go and sniff and play and make friends with a butterfly and able to go look at the dog again, get a treat, we can go a little closer. Training should be fun. Ouch. Yank.
Ridiculous. You see that?
Ridiculous? You're the only one that's ridiculous here, dude. I see what you're setting this dog up for.
See that?
See what? I see you forcing an animal.
Good.
Okay, I'm going to take out a lot of the cursing that I say in this video. I don't even know why he corrected her. Again, another yelp. Let's go back. If you don't want to hear the yelp, mute it for the next couple of seconds.
Good. Good.
Ouch.
You're gonna get corrected now.
Why?
Good.
Why is she going to get corrected? Lip lick. This says everything. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Why did she get corrected? He didn't even ask her to do anything. He didn't tell her. He expected, I'm sure, a sit. She doesn't know it. Because when you're in fight or flight and you're afraid of your next correction, you're over threshold like this, and you're overstimulated, you're not going to think. That poor thing.
Good.
Now she's afraid. Look, her little foot is up. Again, showing signs of fear.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, he says this is good as if it's impressive. She's licking him, trying to be submissive. She has her lip licks. She has the whale eyes.
You're running them off.
She is not running anyone off. You know who's running away is to avoid you. If I see a trainer like you in the wild and they're already correcting their dog like this, I stay away so I don't set the dog up for more corrections. So those people may have heard that and they stay away. This dog is not cleaning the dog park. You are. Because people with half a brain, or at least one more brain cell than you do, can probably tell this dog is getting harshly corrected and they don't want to be anywhere near that.
Behavior.
She is not scaring them away with her behavior. You are. You need to take accountability for yourself, and you never will, so I'm going to hold you accountable. So hopefully other people can take accountability for themselves. I take accountability for my own actions from previously, where I openly admit to using choke chains and prong collars with my own Shiba, because I ran into problems that I didn't know how to use. I didn't have the skills or the timing or experience in positive reinforcement. I didn't think that it failed. I just didn't have an actual trainer one-on-one to show me timing and show me and put the time in. So I went to trainers when I didn't know any better, and they had me go from a choke chain and graduate to a prong collar, and they put a muzzle on my Shiba, because when they would try to get him to sit, he wouldn't sit. He would fight back and he would nip at them, and they put a prong collar on him, and they put a muzzle on him so they could force him. I didn't like it, but I also didn't stand up for him because I didn't think I could. So if you ever see this, even in the wild, if I saw this, I would go off on this guy. It's none of my business, but if I see an animal in pain and fear, I would just give him my unsolicited advice. I give him my opinion that he didn't ask for. But you can stand up for the animal's rights, because they don't have any rights. They're property.
Good.
I'm not saying go to a stranger, who's doing this to their dog and go off on them. I'm not condoning that, okay? I'm not saying you should do that. I don't think it's good for me to do it, but sometimes I just can't help it. But you can control your own dog. You can control your own trainer and who you choose to work with. And you can stop it at any time. Consent can be revoked at any point. Even if you say yes and the person corrects your dog once, you can say, nope, I'm done. And don't let them try to fool you into thinking your dog needs this nonsense. It is cruel. It is unnecessary. Ouch!
I'm not gonna put up with not much now.
With what? What? See, he's getting irritated because he doesn't have skills to teach the dog anything other than to be afraid. So now he keeps yanking her for nothing and correcting her, and she's yelping. How many corrections have been in this video?
Now, if I train her on my property, she does very well.
Well,
amazing in the yard. Stay.
Because this is an area she's not used to. Because this is a new dog. Because, if she goes here every day for 2 weeks, then I could say she's used to it. It still wouldn't change anything. There's still different dogs that come here, the different smells, the amount of smells that come through here versus in his own yard. And it doesn't matter. This is not necessary. You don't need this just because she's outside of your yard. This poor thing.
Good. Now, I do have a chain on my person, and I should have used it.
A chain? What do you mean a chain? Like a chain leash?
Good stay. Good. So see? She's a very dominant little dog, but
She's dominant? She's not! She's a puppy and she's afraid of you! You're an idiot!
To both people and dogs. Good.
She's actually nothing nearly as bad as what he puts in the title as the dogs that I've worked with. She barked a couple times. She's a little nervous. She can easily be worked with, but you know what this is going to do? This is going to cause shutdown of this behavior, and she's going to get worse. And I've seen it time and time again. I work with dogs where people have done this to stop aggression or reactivity, and they make it 10 times worse. Because when she gives you the warnings of the growling, the staring, the barking, and you tell them, no, don't do that, and they go straight for the bite next time. So I'm not even going to continue this. I'm just going to... Let me see if I can find a cute picture. But I hope you were able to learn anything from that video. At the very least, learn what not to do. I mean, I cover it all the time on videos of what I would do. I tried to cover that. I mean, that video really got me. I did not expect to see that much just blatant ignorance and just, I don't know. I'm speechless. So that was a good recommendation. Of course, I don't recommend anybody follow what he does or watches him, but that's my opinion. If you want to, then you can check him out. I guess he's called the Dog Messiah. I don't think he's Messiah of anything. I think anybody who gives himself that title is just arrogant. He's just uneducated and unskilled. And I just think it's just a dangerous, I think he's a dangerous trainer. Again, in my opinion, people can love him, people can hate me. By no means do you have to come watch my channel, but I'm doing this not to retrain trainers out there who are already, stuck in their own ways or have their own idea of how things should be. I'm doing this to educate owners out there who may see that and think that's impressive, or they just aren't sure, is this okay? Or, if it doesn't feel okay, it's probably not okay. And you can go through that and say, what, I didn't like it, and you can move on, you can change. That's what I did. I questioned it so many times, training and methods, and I said, what, in the end, I'm listening to my dog. And if I don't want it on me, I'm not putting it on my dog. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I hope it wasn't too triggering for you guys, too traumatizing. And there was a lot of yelps in there I was not expecting. So go hug your little fur baby, feather baby, reptile baby. You can't really hug a fish, but if you have fish, then say hi to them for me. Hooved babies. Say hi to any of your little animals for me. Give them a hug. And we'll see you guys next time. Until then, stay positive.